Well, we're here outside Carlisle Civic Centre with two sets of nomination papers for the by-election we were talking about earlier in Cockermouth. Just quickly, because I know that quite a few viewers won't actually really know what these things are, but all our candidates and agents and a lot of activists do know, but there's nothing particularly complicated. You've got to get it right. So you've got a sheaf of papers for each candidate. Can I give you those, Glenn? Sheaf of papers for each candidate. And everything has got to be absolutely perfect on these. On the first one, it's notice of appointment of election agent, and you have the name of the candidate and the name of the agent, Glenn in this case. It has to say which ward it is, and it's just declaring that the agent is taking the job on. Very simple form, only 7 lines to fill in. Then we've got the same thing, the candidate's consent to nomination. This again, the candidate's name and address. They had to be eligible to stand, and there's different ways they can be eligible. Basically, they have to live or work in the area the ward's in. And then that has to be signed by a witness and the name and address of the witness. Again, no rocket science whatsoever. The third one is where it's a little bit more complicated. This is the nomination paper. Again, it's got the details of the ward, you've got the candidate's details and the description. Now, there've been the occasional problem, all parties get it, when description, it says 6'3" with dark hair. Description has to be British National Party, the home address of the candidate in full, and then you've got the signatures and the names of the proposer and the seconder, and 8 local residents who are on the electoral roll, who aren't necessarily saying they're going to vote for us, but just accepting that they accept our right to stand and take part in the democratic process and give people a choice. And this is the bit where things can go wrong, because if someone, for instance, is known as Fred Smith to everybody, but his real name is Bert Smith, if he signs it Fred, but he's on the electoral register as Bert, then the returning officer in there will just say, take him away, they're invalid. So it's very, very difficult. It's not, but it's very tricky to make sure we get it right. And then the other thing is that with each person you have to have their polling district and their electoral number. You get that from the electoral register. The only time that ever causes a problem, we get it sometimes, a particularly stroppy and left-wing returning officer in the council chamber will sometimes try and con one of our new organisers or agents into trying to fight the election without getting the electoral register. That's the list of everyone's name and address in the area. And if you haven't got their name and address and their polling district and number, they simply can't sign this. So you have to know that. It's not usually a problem. Normally these civil servants these days, they're just doing their job. They're just ordinary people. As a general rule, they're pretty much okay with us. Just occasionally you get someone who's a little bit difficult. But that's the complicated bit. You get these, if you haven't got members or activists in the ward, you simply knock on doors, asking people if they'll sign. Within 2 or 3 visits to different doors, you've got your signatures almost ready to go. The last thing we have to have is the Registration of Political Parties Act Certificate of Authority. This simply certifies each region of the party has a nominating officer who has the power to say, yes, this person in this place can use our name, they're a proper authorised candidate, and they can use the registered party emblem, which is the BNP letters with the Union Jack running through them. So you've got those papers, you're ready to go to get yourself nominated to stand in a local election. We've got these 2 sets now for the ward, and we're taking them in to do the business.